Everybody, welcome back because we're going to be talking here on A Cow's Opinion about Embracer possibly having a lot of trouble today. This is A Cow's Opinion on a very terrible late Tuesday. Guys, it's been storming where I live really hard. I did it right before I woke up this AM and then decided, hey, you know that internet you have that you need to do things like gaming, relaxing, and working your not regular job? Yeah, you don't have that no more. I had to take off the entire afternoon because I didn't have internet almost the entire afternoon. I was in a foul mood all day. And so I just started relaxing as soon as I got off of work, which was not fun. It looks like they have been fixing the net. It's more and more stable as time goes on. So I am thankful for my internet provider, so I'm not going to put them on blast right now for collapsing for most of the day. But, storms happen, and I was just glancing through the news, and I realized, I should probably cover this, because it's a Tuesday, all right. It's a terrible Tuesday. But Embracer Group, the European conglomerate that was looking to defend and help all these different IPs, is having a massive problem after a $2 billion deal has crumbled. Now, Embracer Group has 17,000 employees, over 100 studios. You want to know what they are? Here we go. You know some of these guys. THQ Nordic, Ravenscourt, Deep Silver, Gearbox. One of the guys in Gearbox was really not happy about what we're going to be talking about today. And examples of the titles are things like Biomutant, which I remember, Saints Row, maybe, and Metro. You guys know what that is. What other major things? We have Mafia Inc. I remember that game. Deep Rock and Satisfactory from Coffee Up Here. The Evil Dead game is from Saber Interactives. We got, some of these games. This game, I can't pronounce it, but I recognize the emblem. It just recently came out. It's a little too... Oh. Well, didn't mean to do that, but oh well. So these are all publishers for external and owned IPs, mobile to AAA, and 700 employees work closely with their internal and external developers. So Embracer Group has 18 publishers and 100 studios. It's a lot, guys. So the Swedish gaming conglomerate Embracer Group has just been on a massive... You think Microsoft is buying Activision's big news. Embracer Group over here playing Hungry Hungry Hippos. And they've been taking up everything. Probably the one that you know most of was when Square Enix wanted to concentrate less on the North American and European IPs and studios. They sold them to Embracer Group for what I thought was a ridiculously low sum. There's a cow's opinion about that, I believe. However, a deal they recently announced, and they're not saying who it was with or what it was about, but they said that they had a $2 billion deal in income that just fell through at the last hour, and they were really unhappy about it. And now they're saying they're going to have to do a major restructuring that will close multiple studios and cancel games. The CEO, Lars Wingfors, published an open letter this morning while my internet was taking a massive dump all over me, and said that it's going to be in 3 phases and it's going to go until March of next year. Now, they haven't really talked a lot about what they're going to do, but they're talking about cost savings and consolidation to reduce debt below 10 billion Swedish krona, which is the equivalent of $930 million for those of you who live in North America. Matthew Koch, who is the current interim COO and the former CEO of Saber Interactive, one of those studios we looked at just a second, said that this means that an unknown number of Embracer Group's 17,000 staff will be laid off as part of the process. Neither Wingfors nor Embracer Group have detailed when specific closures or layoffs will happen, and Polygon reached out for more information. That should... that is the big news. So Embracer currently engages close to 17,000 people, and while that number will be lower by the end of the year, it is too early to give an exact forecast on this. Also said studios to be closed will be underperforming or not creating up to their standards. I have thoughts on that, but the impacted projects have not yet been announced and have low projected returns. Now, Embracer, as I mentioned, has things like Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, and Lord of the Rings. Tomb Raider through Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal from Square Enix just last year. They also had bought the licenses rights to Lord of the Ring and The Hobbit by buying the rights holder Middle-earth Enterprises, which is a very expensive way to get the rights. I'm just going to let you know. And they had 5 mystery games in the Lord of the Rings brand in development with the external partners. So what we can fathom is that a lot of stuff is going to go bye-bye. Now, Crystal Dynamics put out a statement on Twitter to confirm that neither Tomb Raider nor Perfect Dark will be updated, which is good. We know we need to be exploiting Lord of the Rings, exploiting, never a good word to use, by the way, in a very significant fashion and turn that into one of the biggest game franchises in the world, says Koch. And that's obviously something that we're going to be doing. That's a much better use of resources than some of the other projects that some of our teams have been working on. Now, they also have Saints Row Deep Silver, which the most recent one was like the CW of video games. Terrible story, massive amounts of bugs, terrible plot, unlikable characters who talk like just terrible all the way through. Not a great game, unfortunately. If you played it and you liked it and you're a huge fan of Saints Row, I'm not begrudging you that, but for a mass release product, it did not perform to expectations. They've acquired since just 2020 or founded 50 game studios and offices, and it's part of a massive trend where they were trying to take care of tons of IP under their brand to just constantly have money. Not to like have all 5 Lord of the Ring games come out at the same time, but like one Lord of the Ring game comes out and other stuff comes out, and then a year and a half, 2 years later, the next one comes out. Just constant content to keep the money flowing. Now, right now, as we all know, the gaming industry is going through a lot of consolidation. And this article confirms it. Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two bought Zynga for mobile games. Microsoft's trying to buy Activision Blizzard for $68.9 billion. They probably should have just given them the extra $100 million and hit the 69 for the memes. And meanwhile, Sony bought out Bungie. Embracer Group also expanded to comics and tabletop by buying Dark Horse Comics and Asmodee for tabletop, which is really weird for a game company, I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, they seemed to really need this $2 billion partnership that's going to cause a lot of pain to a lot of hardworking people. And this is on top, as the article reports, of $1 billion investment from Saudi Arabia's investment fund that also was there. $1 billion from Saudi Arabia, and you still need another $2 billion from somebody else? But that loss of the $2 billion partnership lowered projected earnings down to a range of $655 to $840. That's not good. I know that $655 million is a lot of money, unless you have 100 game studios, in which case you need a lot of money. And they just haven't had a chance to get their feet running. And in fact, in their earnings report in May, Embracer Group said the previous financial year was challenging due to lackluster reception to notable releases, one of which was Saints Row, as I've mentioned before, and game delays, now here's the part that makes me mad, despite net sales being up 121%. So look, the cow is not necessarily one of those people who talks a lot about how developers need a union or anything. But when stuff like this happens, it makes me very unhappy. You were up in sales 121%. You had 100, just even if it was just 100%, you had a ton more in sales. $3.5 billion in sales. And the loss of this $2 billion deal is going to cause you to close a lot of the studios and projects that you were working on. Guys, this is really terrible for gaming. It just is. Now, the reason why I'm pro Microsoft deal is because I want Bobby Kotick out of Activision Blizzard. The guy's been running around lately, and that probably just was a video all on its own, where he tried to give a glowing PR piece in Variety, I believe, and talked about how, no, there was no culture of abuse or scandal that I was presiding over. Ignore all of those lawsuits and people who walked out and protest. That did not happen. So I want that guy to be gone, and if he has an ironclad golden parachute, just pay the troll to go away. But the FTC looks like it's about to put on the boxing gloves and is actually, in a possible future follow-up video, asked for an injunction to prevent Microsoft from closing the deal, even though the UK is denied it because they can close the deal and just not release Activision products in the UK. And they might be able to do that, and that might actually pressure the UK to change their mind. But that's a whole nother video. This is why some consolidation at times is good if there are too many weak companies. It's just economics. But this proves that there's been too much consolidation. When you have 100 studios with all these popular IP, and you have too much on your plate. Saints Row sales were lackluster. I don't know what developer and publisher Deep Silver did, where they thought that was going to be a good game, but some people played that and said, this is a great game. Don't worry about the bugs. Don't worry about the unlikable characters and the poor plot. This is what the people want. No, it wasn't. It was really, really dumb. Like, ridiculously dumb. And now, because you got $1 billion from Saudi Arabia, and now because you're not getting an additional $2 billion, you have to have massive restructuring changes in three waves of this, man. There's going to be 3 waves of massive restructuring going on at embracergroup because of this. I mean, God, man. Look at this. Torchlight, that's the name of the thing. Somebody in freaking comments has been like, the cow does not understand. I must type the answer of the game. I appreciate you, but no, I figured it out. Torchlight. It's too big. You can be a massive company if you can handle it. But the fact that your massive games like Saints Row are not selling well and are not hitting the quality control markers means that people at the top are pushing games out without doing enough testing. And without having actual people who might buy the game, play the game. Somebody had, I don't know why that happened. Some idiot in a suit probably thought, well, I think the dialogue is great. People don't really play for the story. And I'm sure we can patch that. We can patch that later in just like 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks. We're making money, man. We ain't got time for quality control or testing or focus groups. And now Embracer, 17,000 employees are going to have to spend from now until March of 2024 in panic mode because they don't know if they're going to have a job tomorrow. They don't even know when the first wave is going. The only thing we have about this in their open letter is, that's my southern comedian, the open letter, y'all. That's the southern of me coming out. But from their open letter, they talked about how we hope to have it done by March of 2024. Nothing in there explains to me when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, and to who you're going to do it. And instead of doing it the right way, which is spinning off studios, letting people make their own companies again, people are going to lose their jobs. Beloved IPs are going to go away or into a vault somewhere for 5, 10 plus years until somebody else buys it or somebody else decides to, resurrect it. And that sucks for gaming. It's great that we're still going to get the next Tomb Raider. I'm happy we're going to get the next Perfect Dark. But and we're almost certainly going to get all of those Lord of the Rings projects. Like they said, right now their strategy, they need to make Lord of the Rings huge. They need it. So all of those projects are safe. But how many great projects and creative deals are we going to get? That maybe they're not AAA games. Maybe they're not going to make $100 million in the first month or even weekend. Maybe there's smaller games from smaller studios that will still make money. And they're like, nope, we're closing your studio. You guys go be another support game staff on Lord of the Rings #3. You don't get creativity anymore. I need you guys to make a bunch of rocks and bushes and orcs. Guys, I would expect more of this. I fully expect Microsoft is gearing up for a fight too. There's a very good chance that they're going to win. And when they buy Activision Blizzard, I can't guarantee that there will or not be some layoffs, or there will be some churn. Even if Microsoft does not lay off a single person, which I don't think is what would happen, there will be some churn because there are always people who are like, I don't want to work for a big company, or this is a good time. Everything's already changing already. This is a good time for me to go make my own studio. We've got that with like Second Dinner making Marvel Snap. All those guys left Blizzard. We got that with Frost Giant making their new RTS that they recently showed combat footage of. That's a lot of Blizzard vets who want to keep RTS gaming alive. And those are good examples. I mean, they came from a bad reason. They came because these studio heads at Activision Blizzard were driving these people nuts. But they took that negative and made it a positive. They went and they lived their dreams. But it's a lot harder to live your dream when you're fired, man. So I hope that these guys land on their feet, start new studios, and embrace their passion, and make great games. I don't know how many. We don't even know how many of these 70. Is it a 10% reduction? That's still 1,700 people. Based on the fact that you need $2 billion makeup, they want to reduce debt below $930 million. I don't know what their debt is, but if they were counting on $2 billion in income to help with the debt, it's going to be significant. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think, what game or studio that you are looking forward to that you hope is okay from all this. I'm trying to find good news for you, but all the big news is either, this kind of stuff, Activision Blizzard screwing up again, or Microsoft getting ready to... Microsoft, the FTC are going to go around. We're going to have a lot of content based on that, you guys. These guys are about to go in a no-holds-barred death match in the U.S. court system. And I could not tell you which side is going to win. Because you're going to get in front of a judge, and the judge is going... There's no jury in this. Judge is going to decide. We'll find out, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching. We are slowly ticking up. I'm trying to get to 400 subs. You can like, comment, and subscribe below. But this is a cow's opinion. Play more games. Games are awesome, and you deserve the awesome. I'll see ya.